Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I picked up something the other day. I had mentioned the last video that we're probably going to be into some Honda stuff, and I'm the kind of guy, when I commit to something, I go in all in, you know what I mean? I don't just buy or get into one thing or little things. When I decide I'm into something, I go all in, just like the whole drifting thing. Look at all the drift stuff that we've compiled over, what, a year or two. So I done some research. I'm a B series guy, so I'm old school. Everything I had was B series, turbo built B series, LS VTEC swaps, stuff like that. Well, I've got an EK hatch, an EG hatch, an EK coupe, and so I think my EG hatch, I've ended up with all the motor and turbo stuff back from that car, so I think I'm going to stick with that build on that EG hatch. Well, I was looking on Marketplace there, and I ran into a K24A2. From my understanding, that's the go-to motor. From what I've been reading, it's a little pricier on the front end, but they make quite a bit of power, and you don't have to do as much to them. You don't have to, you know, they'll make more power, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a K-Series guy. So if you watch this video and you're really into K-Series, shoot me some links or something, some advice on, you know, where to go with this motor. I don't know whether if I'm gonna, you know, turbo it like it sits. I don't know. And I think the idea is, if you get a different K24 and you plan on building it, so get one of the cheaper ones if you're gonna do rods and pistons and all that. But the K24A2 has the stronger parts, and you can just do, I think, a K20 oil pump, and that makes it rev higher. I don't know which one. I don't have a clue. I don't know which transmission to run. I have a 6-speed. I was going to let Ronnie have it for his car if he decides to K-swap, so I'll be in the market for a transmission. But if he's going to do a B-Series, I have a transmission. I don't know if it's, you know, to put in an EG, I'm reading not to use the K24 transmission. I don't know. I don't know which one's 6-speed. I don't know what the 5 speeds are. I don't know anything about them. So if there's some links that somebody could send me to figure that out. But either way, I think I'm going to go with the EK hatch. I don't have a harness, so most of the swaps that I'm seeing, you use the factory K-Series harness, and most places just have a jumper to combine that harness to the EG or EK chassis, and you run the K-Series ECU. Not really sure. So I'm still trying to figure out the wiring. I may have to call a few places. It's not 100% clear on what I'm seeing. And again, it took me years and years and years to get up to speed on B series. So, you know, it'll take me a while to get everything figured out. Like the 2Js, I'm so far now into the 2Js, I can help somebody. I can help with advice and that kind of thing. But when I first got into it, I didn't know anything. I was going blind. But now that I'm in, you know, filling the K-Series out a little bit, I've got to start researching that, along with, you know, I'm still working on 2J stuff. So that's where we're at. We're going to start looking at harnesses and mounts, and I'm not going to spend any money on it just yet. I do have the motor. I've got to figure out, it didn't come with a flywheel. It was in a manual car. The harness was burned up, so I didn't get a harness, but I do have the alternator, starter, intake, and all that stuff. The valve cover is a little dingy, but I could probably paint it or something. But so I'm going to be hunting parts for that, but I'm in no rush because I'm still going to do my EG first and start kind of putting parts back for the K-Series. So that just kind of fell into my lap. I picked up that motor. It's got 200,000 miles, right at, I think, 190 something thousand. But the motor that feels like it's got good compression, I'm going to put a starter on it, try to check the compression. I don't think it needs rebuilt. I may rebuild it. And if I take it apart, I'm the kind of guy where I'm not going to rebuild an engine stock parts. If you know, if I can afford to get an aftermarket piston, aftermarket rod, there's your short block. There's a built short block, you know. And I really don't know where to go with this motor. I don't know, just put it in, turbo it, and call it a day. I don't know just yet. But I am going to work on the EG first and try to get that combination put together and put it in the car and go from there. And the EK coupe, it's a LS swap. Not LS like V8, but LS Integra swap. And I'll probably just finish it and sell that thing maybe. I don't know. And I still have the GMC Canyon too, with the actual LS in it. So yeah, I'm actually going right now. I own some pool tables and a coin machine over at a bar, and I'm going to collect that money. So today, I actually hauled off some scrap this morning. Yesterday, I didn't do anything yesterday. The day before that, so it's like Wednesday now, I think. But anyway, Monday, the day before yesterday, we went down to a couple of rentals. We cleaned some trees and stuff out, a bunch of brush. So I didn't video any of that. I don't know if anybody wants to see any of that kind of stuff, but we did clean a bunch of trees and stuff away from a rental. We had a roof leak. We had to fix that. We really won't know if it's repaired until we get another rain. And so when I get to the shop, I'll probably be at the shop all day tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll get some footage of that motor. Just give you an idea of the way it looks, what condition, and what all I've got. And if you have any of those parts or whatever that I'm going to need, or advice, or a link to something of, you know, a build. I've looked at some YouTube videos, and you go through a bunch, and there's some stuff that I did learn, but I've been through a lot of footage and not really seen what harness setup yet. So I hadn't really got into that part, but I am looking at like the rebuild and the builder, or what head and what oil pump combination and water pumps. And I see like K-Tune has a bunch of different parts, some upgrade, you know, like water pump, like housings and different things like that. And the shifter, I don't have a shifter, I don't have the linkage. So that kind of stuff I'll be looking at and trying to figure that out too at the same time. So I kind of will gather pieces up as it falls into my lap, or if somebody has it, or whatever. But I'll try to do my homework before I start spending money. But I do have the motor, and that's why I got the K24A2, because anything you read, that's the 2.4 to get. The K20A, JDM, Type R, whatever, that's the one to have, I guess. But the A2 and the K24A2 is the best of the K24s. But I got one now, so but we'll get more into it tomorrow. I'm gonna go collect this money and get me something to eat, and I may ride out tonight when I get done. It'll be a while before I'm done collecting the money. Usually takes 4 to 6 hours, and it's not that much money, but it takes a minute. Usually it's all quarters. So if I get done and it's not too late, I may run over there and just get some footage of it and kind of lay it all out and see what we got and see what I'm gonna have to have. So, all right, here we go.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
All right, so we're back at the shop, and just got through collecting some money. Now let's show us our little K24 motor we got. There she is. It was in a engine bay fire. That thing's a little melted up. That's the only thing. It did come with some accessories. We'll get to those in a minute. But you can see, maybe, there you go. K24A2. There she is. I do have a non-VVTi 2J as well. That's the bottom end I'm going to put on the IS300. But anyway, and if you're a K-Series guy, I have a question. Is that normal condition of the RTV, or has this thing been pulled before for a factory seal? I can't say that that looks factory to me. It may be, but I don't know. It just doesn't look like that would be factory to me. So I hadn't pulled anything off yet. Hadn't really checked, but it's even the same sealer down at the bottom of the pan. If somebody can answer that, if that's stock or factory, I'm curious of that. So we got the intake, it's got the throttle body, power steering. I guess that's the power steering right there. That's just it might be a water pump. Yeah, there's the power steering. So that's gonna be like a water pump, I guess. Yeah, that's the water pump. Power steering's over there. Alternator. It's got the AC pump, starter. It's got a wiring harness with it, but I don't know the condition of the harness yet. You can see the wiring harnesses burn up around some of the loom. I may strip it back. If it's good, we'll be able to do something with it. I didn't know if I had this harness. It's cut right there. So never mind. I'll need a harness, I guess. Unless that goes to, yeah. I'll need an engine harness. Yeah. So that's gonna be garbage, I guess. We'll move it off to the side in case we need any parts off of it, but everything accessories wise should be here. Injectors, fuel rail, all that mess. We got a pile of bolts, but yeah, so that's where the water pump goes. But that's my little K24 A2 that I picked up. Figured I'd give you a little shot of that. A little dirty on this side. She does need cleaned. And it is the RBB 2 head. So I don't know which one's better than this one, or if I just run this head. I don't know. So yeah, this is what I got. Does have the coils with it. There's my little K-Series. And my 2J non-VVTI. All right, here we go. All right, so I dug through, I had some O2 sensors hanging over on the wall over there. And I dug through those jewels and I found one. And it plugged in. It's kind of not quite plugged in, but I've got pretty close idea of the size plug I need. It's pushed in far enough where they're connected, so I'm gonna try it. I don't know if the wires are in the correct orientation. So I'm gonna check the pin out on this thing and see what the actual color code is or what these are. And to make sure that's right, and we'll give it a once over and we'll see if it can read any actual, I guess, what would you call it, exhaust gases, and see if we can pick up anything through this one. And if it don't, I've got to figure out what O2 sensor. Ow. And I've still got to get that throttle cable done. And we should be there. But that's what's going on with this little update. I'm gonna work tomorrow at the shop. So I'm gonna try to work here tomorrow. I'm going to try to finish the IS300 outside, get that wheel back on it, get it on the ground. Probably have to pull this throttle body, get it drilled out to get the right fitting to finish that. Maybe I'll get the throttle cable done tomorrow. We'll crank just this jewel tomorrow and see if that oxygen sensor is reading. If it is, we're good. If not, we'll have to find a different one, because I do have another one, but it fits about the same. It doesn't quite pull up all the way, but I need to figure out what oxygen sensor I actually need, because I don't know. I didn't call anybody yet, but I went and collected some doll hairs today, so I was busy collecting doll hairs. So that left me not calling them like I should have. But anyway, I've got to pull the head off the VVTi or the non-VVTi motor, make sure that bottom end's good, rotate it, take a look into that thing, maybe put it on my stand, flip it upside down, and see if the bearings and everything look good in that thing, make sure the rods aren't crazy, or see if there's any trash in the bottom end, and see if that bottom end's actually good to put a VVTi head on it. And once I confirm that that bottom end's good, this may not all happen tomorrow, but it's possible. Probably not. But get VVTi bottom end that's good, and I'll know that I have something, in store for the IS300. So that way we can put it back together with a different motor and try it once again. And hopefully we can get this thing done. We should be pretty close to. If I get the throttle cable, realistically, that's that. It'll run without the O2 sensor. I just have to figure out which one. But it'll run that way. Get the timing set on the computer and one V-band, and I think that's it. Get all that tied in. And if that's the right O2 sensor, I'm ready for a dyno. I do have to cut some bolts where I put the battery in the trunk. The bolts are still sticking through the floor, and so like they're hanging down. So I have to cut those dudes off and maybe pull the hood. I don't know. I need to make a decision on where I want that up pipe facing. Kind of laid to one side or straight up or whatever. But whenever I figure that out, we'll eventually have to do something with the hood. Drill it, cut it, saw it, whatever's got to happen. But we have to do that. Or just take it off and set it to the side for now. Whatever I decide, I need to get that squared away. But that's where I'm at. I'm not far from putting this thing on the ground. And once I put it on the ground, I'm taking it out of here, and it's, working on the interior, but I'm gonna take it out of here and I'm gonna start moving some other things in here and start trying to work on some other stuff. So that's where I'm at. So, all right, here we go. Like, subscribe, go to our website, www.chesserenterprises.com. Pick up some merch there. We're trying to build the inventory a little bit. Because I don't want to have a website. It's just t-shirts, hats, and beanies and that kind of stuff. I want to be able to offer parts, because I'm stocking parts because we need them. And a byproduct of doing that is we have them for sale. Maybe we can save you $1 or maybe make me $1 too. But we're going to do merch as well. But I would like the actual website to be something you can purchase things besides just our merch and that kind of thing. So it would make it kind of worthwhile. You can get some parts, get some merch, be on your way. So yeah, and I'm gonna maybe try to throw some bracelets or stickers or something in there. So I'm gonna spice up anything you order from us. I'll put things in there at this level. I've got extra like bracelets and things that I don't have listed and all that, and some stickers and stuff. So I'll just kind of sticker bomb the box there. I'll throw a few things in with your order if you decide you want something. We do have a lot more of the cups and things that we don't have listed. So look out for that if you want some of that kind of thing. Yeah. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching our videos. So like, subscribe, share. See you on the next one. All right, here we go.
I'm feeling high.